8 seconds, you can hear the marble crack. King Charles has stopped chemo, swapped it for coffee enemas, and may announce a regency before Christmas. That line, whispered by a palace footman and caught on CCTV, is now roaring through every newsroom in London. Stay with me, because in 30 seconds we'll show you the private scan report William read at 3 a.m, and why Princess Catherine just postponed Prince George's move to Eton for the second time in 12 weeks. The day begins with drizzle over Buckingham Palace, the kind that turns gold leaf dull and makes the Union flags hang like wet laundry. Journalists cluster at the gates, guessing which briefcase means what: red for routine, black for crisis. Inside, King Charles III sips lukewarm dandelion tea, no caffeine, his naturopath insists, and pages through the court circular. He still insists on signing every entry in green ink, but his hand trembles now, the fountain pen leaves tiny stutters of emerald on the page. 35 seconds, mini twist. Just downstairs, Camilla listens to Queen Mary's rock crystal chime at 10 o'clock. She's not scheduled to appear in public for another week, a forced retreat that Princess Anne engineered after discovering Camilla siphoned £78,000 of duchy funds to import goat serum from Baja California. Camilla's anger is basalt hot, but she has nowhere to vent. All her trusted aides were reassigned overnight restructuring, and called it. Meanwhile, Catherine of Wales stands in Adelaide Cottage, ironing a starched detachable collar for George's trial uniform, just for practice, she tells the staff. In truth, she's stalling. A second set of placement papers sits unsigned on her writing desk. If George doesn't start at Eton, he'll need a bespoke tutoring plan inside Windsor, something the Crown last commissioned for Edward VIII in 1910. The precedent is not comforting. Time bomb planted, 90-second promise. In exactly 4 minutes we'll reveal a handwritten note from Charles' oncologist that includes one chilling phrase: metastatic progression probable if therapy paused beyond 42 days. The palace scheduled his next appearance, greeting the Emperor of Japan, on day 46. Someone is gambling with the king's life, or with our perception of it. Flashback to November 2023. Westminster Abbey glowed beneath chandeliers, cameras tucked into every Gothic arch. The world saw Charles crowned, but only a few noticed the fissure forming in row A. Camilla's son Tom and grandson Freddie sat where the Middletons should have. Catherine's smile froze for less than a second, 0.8 seconds, measured by an enterprising TikToker, and Princess Anne logged it like a seismic reading. That seating snub became the seed of a quiet civil war. Twist number 1, Joanna Lumley's slip. After receiving her damehood, the actress stepped outside, found a hot mic, and said, "He's brave, really brave, but oh, he's terribly ill." The palace issued a bland denial, but the damage was done. Google searches for Charles cancer stage spiked 824% overnight. Hashtags #reallyIll and #CandleKing trended worldwide. Emotional pivot. William hears the clip while driving back from a homelessness charity in Leeds. He pulls onto the hard shoulder, stares at the steering wheel, and thinks of his mother, how false bravado held the family together, until it didn't. For 10 seconds he considers calling his father to demand honesty, then remembers the last conversation ended with Charles coughing blood into a handkerchief and insisting it was just dryness. Twist number 2, public heckle in Suffolk. Charles ventures out with Camilla to meet locals. A man yells, "Why do we pay £27 million for your duchy while we choose between heat and food?" The king replies softly, "Ah, yes," then turns pale under the grey sky. Palace staff rush the line forward, cameras catch his left knee buckling. The clip hits TikTok, set to Sam Smith's Too Good at Goodbyes, and garners 11 million views before dinner. Back in Windsor, Catherine fields George's earnest question, "Mummy, will Grandpapa die?" She swallows, kneels, says, "Grandpapa is very strong, darling. But sometimes strong people still need help." George nods like he understands, then asks if he still has to learn Latin verbs tonight. She hugs him until the hallway clock chimes and reminds her time is the one thing she can't slow. 30-second tension spike, medical memo. A sealed red folder lands on William's desk, scan results, plus a note from Dr. Ingham. The line that steals William's breath: recommend immediate resumption of chemo, alternative regimens absent empirical efficacy. Below it, Charles' own handwriting: if markers rise post-pause, initiate immunotherapy or consider formal regency. William circles the word regency 3 loops, ink gouging the paper. Twist number 3, Anne's ultimatum. Princess Royal corners Charles at Balmoral's library, either restart treatment or name a regent. History punishes kings who refuse to know when to sit down. Charles sighs, folds his hands, says, "And, I have work to finish." She answers, "Better to finish alive than half dead." Mini resolution, but new cliff. Charles agrees to a compromise, one final PET scan after a 4-week pause. If numbers worsen, he will step back fully. Camilla fumes, the pause was her idea, meant to prove alternative therapy works. She accuses and of plotting a soft coup. And responds with silence, which is somehow louder. Twist number 4, financial leak. Invoices surface showing £312,000 spent on integrative oncology supplies from a clinic in Tijuana, organic produce, pancreatic enzymes, goat serum, and cod liver extract delivered weekly to Clarence House. Source of funds, Duchy of Lancaster discretionary surplus, public money in practice if not in statute. Republicans seize the story. Petitions calling for abolition of the sovereign grant hit 250,000 signatures in 2 days. Emotional pivot, Catherine's breaking point. At a children's hospice ribbon cutting, Catherine smiles for cameras, but when she returns to the car she vomits from sheer tension. An aide blames heatstroke, though the day is 15 degrees Celsius. Doctors warn stress may slow her own recovery. William orders all non-essential events stripped from her calendar. Newspapers twist it. Is Princess Kate too frail to be queen? The same narrative Camilla once seeded now boomerangs back, but this time Catherine worries public doubt might stick. Time bomb ticks, scan day approaches. And discreetly briefs Privy Council lawyers on regency protocols, just in case. William writes 2 speeches, one pledging support for a recovering king, the other accepting the regency with humble resolve. George, sensing something unspoken, starts sleeping with the hallway light on. Twist number 5, scan results day. 4 a.m., Buckingham Palace. 5 people read the report: Charles, Camilla, William, Anne, and Dr. Ingham. Marker numbers are up 18%. Camilla whispers, "Maybe the next batch of serum." William explodes, "This isn't a smoothie cleanse." Charles coughs, blood on his sleeve, and whispers, "It appears the pause has failed." But shock, he refuses immediate chemo. Instead, he proposes partial regency. William becomes Prince Regent for outward duties. Charles remains de jure monarch while continuing holistic care. And agrees only if transparency follows. Camilla storms out, calls it betrayal, threatens to leak private letters. Charles sighs, "Let the nation decide who betrayed whom." 48 hours later, Buckingham Palace releases a midnight statement. On medical advice, His Majesty the King will take a period of extended recuperation. The Prince of Wales will, with His Majesty's consent, assume state responsibilities until further notice. It stops short of the word regent, but the effect is clear. William's first duty, meet Parliament and reassure markets. The pound dips then steadies. Polls show 68% approve of William stepping in, only 17% believe Charles should have continued alternative treatment. Final crescendo, George's path. Catherine pens a letter to Eton, enrollment deferred a full academic year. Instead, George will study under Dr. Sarah Knapton, a constitutional historian, inside Windsor's Round Tower. Catherine wants him nearby to see leadership up close, not in textbooks. Republicans mock the cosseting, monarchists praise the modern parenting. George himself just wants to finish his Lego Spitfire. And walks the long corridor of Buckingham at dusk, passing portraits of kings who died young or reigned too long. She pauses beneath George III, madness beneath ermine, and whispers, "Not this time." Hookback echo, remember the 8 seconds. That footman's whisper about a cure-all coffee enema ignited the fuse. It ends here, a chronically ill monarch in forced retreat, a queen consort isolated, a future king thrust forward, and a 12-year-old who just learned Latin isn't optional after all. If you believe Britain deserves to know what treatments its head of state really takes and who pays for them, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and share this video before the next midnight statement rewrites history. Because palaces can hide secrets, but they can't silence every whisper in the marble.